Okay, let's go.
So here in this video, I'm gonna show you my ability to speak 5 languages and share tips on how to speak and learn the language. So here I'm gonna speak quickly for a few seconds in each language. I know 5 of them. So in German, hallo, ich heiße Hanna. Freut mich. Ich bin 15 Jahre alt. That was German. Irish dir div. Ich mich Hanna. Tommy Goma. Kanasatatu. Russian. Здравствуйте, я Hanna, и я делаю видео про английский язык и как я выучила языки. Ukrainian language. Добрий день усім. Зараз я розмовляю українською мовою, моєю второю мовою. And in English. So basically, talking throughout the whole video in English. So that's basically, you can, know that I speak that language. So keep going to watching this video to find out tips and tactics to speak like me in a few languages.
Hello guys, and welcome to my channel. So I hope you will subscribe to my channel Study Crack with Hanna. So today I'm gonna take you to my 3 long years journey on studying English. So I will share tips and things that I did that helped me to get from 0 to B2. And I'm still on this journey to get a C1. And maybe with some time even to C2. So this video is about tips that can help you with the languages and especially with English. So the first thing that I'm gonna share with you is my background story, so you can understand that it's actually true what I'm telling you. So basically, I'm originally from Ukraine. I started learning the English long before I got to success point where I understood what I should do to get results. So you will not have to spend this time as long as I did to find things that will help you on your journey with the languages. So I started studying English as maybe all other countries that are not first language is English. I started studying it at age of 8 in my Ukrainian school, but I didn't get to actually know something else except of simple things like hello, my name is, and I have a sister, I am 14 or something like that. It didn't go beyond that basic point, if you know what I mean. So when I was 12, war started in Ukraine between Russia and Ukraine countries. So I had to move to other country. So I moved to Ireland. So basically Ireland is a country that main language is English and second language is Irish, which is spoken only in Gaeltacht areas. So I started learning both languages at the same time. So if you don't believe me that I'm actually not from Ireland, I'm gonna speak with you for a few seconds in my original language. Добрий день, мене звати Ганна. І я говорю з вами зараз на українській мові, щоб ви розуміли, що моя перша мова – це не англійська. So right now I spoke with you in Ukrainian language, and by following subtitles you can understand what I actually talk about. So the next part of this video will be about the tips. So let's go start. And here I am. So the second part, tips. The part you waited long for this. So the first tip is, of course, to surround yourself with the language. But it's not for all people comfortable to surround yourself with that language, because some people live in countries that don't speak English or Like if you want to move to Norway, you kind of in some, I don't know, English speaking country like USA, and you don't know Norwegian and you don't have anyone to speak Norwegian to, it's basically normal, right? You can do things that will help you. So these things are watching some kids series. Yeah, I'm for series, not Netflix or something like that. No, not Disney Plus, but kids kind of shows or movies. Like to learn English, I watched Peppa Pig. Yes, Peppa Pig, and it actually helped me a lot with pronunciation and my vocabulary. So you can watch some kids series or shows of that language on YouTube or any other apps that are for free. Or if you have a Netflix subscription, you can change the language in your settings. You can see the video about how to do it in YouTube, because I'm actually don't know, but I don't have Netflix subscription, but I think you will find how to change it. You can change the language settings and you can watch series in that language that you learn. Also one major tip, so when I came to Ireland, the second I was there, I changed my phone settings to the English, because it helps to surround yourself again with the language you want to learn. You basically do something in your phone and you already learned some words because you want to understand what phone is wanted for you. Like, I don't know, when it sends you notification to kind of to update your phone settings, you translate this because you want to know what phone is, telling you. That's other one. Also, if you have any movies or books that you know by heart in your own native language, you can see online version of that or buy in the language you want to learn, and you can basically already know what each word means because you know by heart that book. That's really helpful. Also about books, one other tip is that you have to study like a kid, because you start from small steps, building up. So you start your language trip like a kid. You read books that are for kids because you can learn from that, you can understand from that. There's no words that can be so difficult for you. There's basic grammar, basic words that will be helpful for you. I did it myself. When I came to Ireland, I bought in a charity shop like 10 or 15 books. I'm not saying that I have read them all. At the first time I was studying, I was kind of putting like that. I have 5 weeks, which is 1 month, and I'm reading that one book. Then I move it to the next. It's looking at the how much pages. So my first book was about 200 pages. Yeah, it was maybe for a kid's age of, I'm not sure, maybe 11 or 10. Yeah, looking at that. So the next major tip is not going heavy on the books about grammar or theory of the language you are learning, because that is not always helpful as you think. I'm not against grammar or anything like that, but I had myself these kind of books that are kind of for adults to learn the language in a proper way. But it's all really boring, and when I kind of didn't understand anything. It just wasn't the way I learned. It wasn't visual. It wasn't the way I learned, basically. So what is the way if you're not learning from that kind of books that talk about 1 second ago? You can use apps, but I'm not talking about the Duolingo and the things that they say. It's just kind of, I don't know, where would you use the sentence like this one? Like where? Yeah, probably never. So you have to learn with the apps that are helpful in your language. There's a lot of like promo or something like that, but I use the Buso app. It's not the promotion of the app I'm doing in this video. It's just the way I learned, and I want to share it with you. So I learned with the Buso, which is a kind of app. There's a lot of languages, but I studied English, so I choose the English. And there is kind of it divides in parts: A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, and then there is chapters in each of these kind of sub parts of the language. So there is kind of chapter 1, and then you do in A1. I think there is like around 50 chapters or something, and you do them. Each lesson in that chapter, there's usually five to eight lessons in each chapter, and they're really short. They can be from 5 to 15 minutes, no longer than that, and they're really helpful because like in A1 and A2, they had kind of like small videos that they shoot themselves, and they were really helpful for things that I learned at that level, because I couldn't find any film or series to watch at that kind of level, because there is usually B1 and above movies with the vocabulary and grammar structures. And that was just for me like blah 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 blah. I couldn't understand what they were talking in the movies, so I used the movies that were there with Babu, so they were really helpful. There is grammar explanation, not in a boring way, but in the way like a formula, like a math formula where you can remember that easily. There's also tips like how natives would say the words and kind of idioms. There's a lot of idioms and slang with that language. There's explanations that you can understand. So basically the Busu was visual, audio, and the 5 senses. I'm not talking about touch, but I would say 4 senses, and not smell, so 3 to 2 senses were there. Yeah. So if you can find the app or the book, I had also a book that was helpful, but not, as I mentioned before, the boring one or just really heavy. It was more of a visual way to learn. I would say the book looked like for kids, but it was really helpful. So when I started learning my English learning journey, it was a problem for me to remember things. It's not only to understand them, but also to remember. So the next tip is about repeating and repetition. So basically, when I learned words or vocabulary, I had to write it many times. So I use that also in German and in Irish language, not only English. So I can say that it's 200% proven way how you can memorize things. So basically, I wrote many times on a page just one word, and I was repeating. Every time I was writing, I was like, for example, word flabbergasted. I wrote it flabbergasted. It's not only helped me to memorize things, it's also helped me with pronunciation and spelling at the same time. So I was each time writing, and each time spelling improved and pronunciation with that. I was adding emotions to read it when I was writing that word. Then after I did it like, I'm not sure, maybe like 20 times, writing out the word or more, it's looking at how hard or difficult the word is. Like in German, there can be such a long word, so it can take up to 100 times writing out this one only word, because they add up to one word many words, like family house, familiar house. They add family and house together, and can be really long words. So when I did that, I wrote out flashcards. So on one, but proper ones, not writing everything on one side or filling up that with information. I wrote a word on one side and then flipped and wrote on the other word, on the other side of the flashcard. I wrote the explanation and pronunciation. So then when I had a pile of them, I also color coded them. So basically I had different colors of flashcards already bought, so paper was kind of different color, and I used red for the things that I knew that were hard for me to remember, the words. I also used that for a kind of a grammar thing. I wrote kind of a name of like past perfect, and the other side I wrote the formula way, like I have la 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 la, and then explanation of that past tense or something. You mean? Of that tense, I mean. So yeah, and also works for vocabulary and grammar and sentence structure. Yep. So about color coding, I had the red for the hard ones, yellow for the middle ones of the difficulty, and the green ones that I knew, like what the hello or name, address, I knew that I will remember them anyway. And I revised them by the difficulty, like the green ones I revised once in a month. Yellow I revised every 2 weeks, and the red ones I revised once a week, until I automatically set them. And then I just threw them out. No. Yep. Also, one other tip that I want to share with you is writing as short stories. So basically, you have a pile of vocabulary and tenses or grammar structures or words that you want to kind of improve spelling or pronunciation of the words. So you use these words and these grammar tenses and you write in them stories. They can be short or they can be bigger. It's looking at what level of language you have at the time. Like if you have English A1 or A2, you write the short stories. Kind of, I would say 1/3 of the page, of the A4 page. And if you B1 or bigger, you can write like essays type of stories, like 1, 2, or I don't know, up to 5 pages or more. It's looking at how motivated you are in that language. And then you can read them out in voice recorder, and then you have a story so you can also audio listening to. One other tip that I would want to share with you is about how many times you do. So basically, quantity versus the other way around. The quality over quantity. So if you study 15 to 30 minutes each day, it will be more beneficial than you study 3 hours just one time in a week or 2 or even in 1 month. I would say that the more repetition you do in that language, the better you will get at that. I can tell you because when I studied Irish, I would do 3 hours study in 1 day and then just forget it for 3 weeks. And then when I come back to that, I couldn't forget, I would forget everything I studied in that 3-hour session and even before that. Even more valuable tip is to basically not to use the language in passive way, but in more active. Like you could write diaries entries like dear diary, la 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 la, and the words you studied or the tenses or anything. Write like start learning in the active day. Maybe even open up for yourself Instagram account where you share your journey, and it will motivate you in even more way to study more, to learn more about that language. You can share where you talk in that language or anything like that. So there is a tip about especially vocabulary, so words you study. Basically, if you add to a word you're learning, like a cat, you add to it emotions, story, or something unique about, like a picture in your mind. Like some people are visual, so when you say just a cat, it's more than likely that you will forget it after that. But if you will create a picture in yourself, like a cat sleeping on the roof, or cat doing, I don't know, TikTok trend or something like that. So basically, don't just learn a word, learn it with its sentence, a unique sentence, like not just cat is black or something, cat is on, I don't know, but make it unique, emotional, something that you will remember. Create yourself a picture in your mind about that word. Another tip that I use till this day, when I was preparing for my junior cert exams in English, I had to remember poetry. We have studied like 20 or more poems, so it was pretty hard to revise that all before the day of the exam. So what I did, I was recording myself on a video or doing that in front of mirror. So basically I was emotionally speaking or repeating that basically poem out loud, like I had some audience in front of me. That can be helpful also with learning languages, like you learned, I don't know, some vocabs, or you want to improve your speaking in that language that you learn. You can basically speak to yourself in the mirror or the phone. Like imagine you, like there's a lot of people who are afraid to make mistakes when they speak with natives or other people. Like I also had that kind of worriness. I was turning red. I was so stressful that my heart was pumping, I don't know, like as the most fastest car in the world. And I just kind of, the words or the information that was in my head was floating from my head somewhere, I don't know, in some desert. Like I'm actually was a zero again, and I couldn't just remember any single word. If you're afraid of that, or you need to practice in front of mirror or a camera, which will be really helpful for you, then you can see that recording of yourself and see what mistakes you made, so next time when you do the same thing, you will know what you need to improve on. So the next tip is more about discipline and motivation. So basically, don't make yourself such a big or huge goals that you, I don't know, I will learn like 100 words in one day, I will study all the grammar in, I don't know, in 2 months and everything like that. Make yourself this step-by-step plan, so you can, it's like a Duolingo. When you do one lesson and you keep yourself a tracker of how many days you did, and that motivation of, like, you have 30 days and you want to keep that and make it even bigger, so it makes really proud you that you did it for so much days, so you can't just ignore it when it says to you do a lesson, or you will lose your strike. You just do and go automatically and do the lesson, so you will not lose that days. Same with your goals. Make them simpler, like I will learn 10 words a day, I will do that exercises in that book, or I will do that lessons in that app. You have to make yourself a plan in the future, so you know what you are doing each day, so it will not be like that, oh, today I'm learning that, next day I'm learning that, because there is levels. Like you can learn past perfect in A1, right? You need to learn something basic for that level, basically. So you have to have some program or some book that is helping you to go throughout that learning journey. So if you are in the country that you're learning language, you basically if you are on the really basic level of that language and you use translator, you can find this translation, or I don't know, of the sentence or thing you want to say to the cashier, or I don't know, the shop assistant or someone else, or to the doctor. You just say it out loud to yourself, like, I have a stomachache. Uh, can you help me? Can I have my prescription, please? Something like that. And you just repeat it to yourself. So even in front of the doctor, that's okay. Repeat it to yourself. Put the phone away and say it by yourself out loud. Yeah, it seems really strange to do that thing if you can just show the phone, yeah, right? But it's actually really helpful. I did it myself. So when I didn't know something, I was translating that in the translator, and then I was looking at it for a long time, like 5 minutes or something, repeating to myself in my mind, but the best way is out loud, and then saying it to face. Even if you forgot something like a word in the middle or article, that doesn't mean a thing. That's fine. That's fine. Even if you said that and they didn't understand you, that's fine. Take the phone again, put away, like even once, and say it again. That's fine. Another tip is when you are scrolling on TikTok or YouTube Shorts or Instagram Reels, try to change or type the videos you want to see in that language that you're learning. So basically change, and the videos will be showing up in that language that you learn. I did that for German. So when I was preparing for junior cert and I had to kind of be better at German, I would say, I started to watching some reels in German, which will be more helpful. Yeah, I didn't understand most of the things, but it still helped me a lot. So, and the last tip in this video, I will do also part 2, so don't worry, I have much more tips to come. So the last tip is about when you learn vocabulary, you better to learn vocabulary in kind of specific groups. Like if you're A1, you learn specific groups of food. You learn words that are about food and not mixing up with other kind of groups like clothes with food. No, that's not great. So you just learn one category of words in that language, write it out and learn it, and then go to the next one. I think it will help more if you learn specific group of things and then move up to the next one. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope something of that helped you on your way. I will do part 2, and if you want to hear something or want to ask something, don't be afraid, write it in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to me because it's really helpful for me, as I'm just a starter here. I just started my channel and I really need some motivation to keep going. Thank you so much for watching this video, and again, see you in the next one. Bye.